Ladies and gentlemen, the long awaited, highly anticipated, there's no way to impress this guy. He's the South pride of the South Side. Wally Werner, ladies and gentlemen. Wally,
Afternoon, Kevin.
yes, yes. Wally, it's been like an entire journey of life to meet up and talk to Wally Werner.
Wow.
Yeah, baby.
Wow.
Yeah.
You must have low standards.
Yeah, man. Being up at the north side, you look down on the south side and you say, hey, this is an interesting cat. And you were always that, Wally. And you had friends of mine, uh, you were teammates. So therefore, you're like an honorary north sider.
Well, I don't know if I want to go that far, but that's fine.
Okay, you started out. I somebody asked, "Hey, he went to Immaculate Heart of Mary," and I said, "I don't think so. You don't want to mention that. You were a St. Anthony on Merrimack kind of guy, weren't you?"
No, I am a Immaculate Heart of Mary person.
Oh,
In
okay.
fact,
Well, in
we
your
our house was our gate opened up right onto the school lot, so we're about as close to the school as you could get.
oh man, beautiful, beautiful. Well, Immaculate Heart of Mary. I mean, yeah, in your um, bio for the Hall of Fame, it said St. Anthony's.
It did well. The only thing I did with St. Anthony's is later on, after in our senior college, like first couple of years after I got out of school, actually, we played a lot of the Immaculate Heart of Mary guys that played junior soccer played 2 years with St. Anthony's in the major league, CYC major league.
Oh,
That's the
wow.
that's the only connection I had with St. Anthony's.
Yeah. And how did you ever stay away from Augustinian and go to St. Mary's?
No, I did not go to St. Mary's. I went to the Bird. Uh,
Holy
all,
cow.
all, all three of my brothers went to St. Mary's. When I graduated from grade school, at the time, certain grade schools, if you went to an archdiocese high school, you were assigned to various archdiocese high schools, and our Immaculate Mary was assigned to DeBerg. So unless you went to CBC or St. Louis U or McBride, you were assigned to DeBerg if you went to an archdiocese high school.
Well,
So
wow, baby, that's new information. I never heard of such a thing.
yeah, yeah, that's how it used to be. Now you go wherever you want, but in those days, that's the way it worked.
Wow.
But after I was in school a couple of years, my brother Rick, who was right below me by a couple of years, they changed that rule, and then he went to St. Mary's. Of course, then my other two brothers went there as well.
Yeah, I always thought you had a choice, but yeah, wow. Well, it was crazy up on the north side, with DeAndres and
Right,
Laboure.
right. Yeah, they were in the CAC. We played them quite frequently at the Berg. CAC, the Catholic Archdiocese Council, a strong athletic type council, league
Best around.
in all sports, really.
Yeah, right. Yeah, CAC, man. Wow. Wow. Well, you're kind of like a rich guy. I always considered the Berg to be the rich parish and the poor guys that go down to St. Mary's.
No, the Berg was just a cross cut, just a cross cut of everybody else. So it was
Yeah,
pretty much the same level of St. Mary's in terms of the kids that went there, just a
yeah,
different location.
right. Okay. And then, but you had a team, Kutis Juniors. Uh,
Right.
I mean, my gosh, man, Kutis, uh, the senior team with all its players and legends. You have a junior team, and you win the National Junior Cup with the likes of Guy Busch, Rich Nelke, and Gary McBrady, plus
Correct.
others.
Yes, I played for Immaculate Heart all those years, and our coach Tony Kraft had asked our pastor at the time if we could go outside the parish to get some players to play because we needed to strengthen our team a little bit. And the pastor at the time said no. So then myself and Tommy Kraft and a guy named Jim Motor, we moved from Immaculate Heart one year to the Kutis Junior team that was coached, you know, by oh man, I just forgot his name. Senior moment. Uh, but anyway, we went to Kutis
Frito?
Seniors that one year, and we won the championship that particular year, 1964.
Yeah, it wasn't Frito, was it?
It was Harry Sundner. No,
Oh,
Frito was our coach with the senior team.
yeah,
Harry
right.
Sundner had the junior team, and he had won with Kutis Juniors the year before we played in '63. And then he came back with our team in '64. So he won 2 years in a row.
Wow. That's a little bit of a trivia you could win a cup of coffee on.
Yeah,
So
but and
go.
then next year I went back to Immaculate Heart of Mary in 1965, and then we won the championship that year,
There you
national
go.
championship.
There you go. Now, did Eddie Clear play?
Now Eddie is a few years older than I am, so
Oh, okay.
I never played junior ball with. In fact, I've never played any kind of organized ball with Eddie, but I
Yeah.
knew him. He was a great player.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So you get the was your father and uncles or anything? Were they, on the high level soccer teams?
No, they were not. Nope.
Wow.
In
Well,
fact, my dad never did play soccer. He himself went to St. Mary's at the time. It was called Southside uh, Catholic at the time when he went there, but
yeah.
he never played soccer there. No.
How about how about that, man? Well, okay, so then so you're getting a taste of being a national champion, and you graduate, and you go to St. Louis University,
Correct.
and you become a champion in '65,
Right.
and
And
then
then
you play your co-champs with those guys, Gary, Rich, and
yeah,
Gary, Guy. Oh my God! Hey man,
but
what
but
go?
we also on St. Louis U we had like four starters that were from Immaculate Heart of Mary. Myself and Tom Rich and Tom Boker and Steve Frank. So between the two teams, we had, and Tom Kraft played for Michigan State. So from the basic Immaculate Heart of Mary group that we grew up with and played in grade school and part of high school together, we had like five players that were in the starting lineup
Well,
in that championship game.
I can understand why you don't want to be an honorary North Sider. Wow, that's interesting. So, that '67 game, was that in the rain and so forth?
Yeah, it had basically rained all week in St. Louis. The games were played at the semifinals. We played Navy, and Michigan State played Army, I believe, and it had rained the whole week. And even the semifinals were kind of a quagmire, but the final, um, which was on a Saturday, it was just puddles everywhere, everywhere, and it was a horrible conditions. There's really no way to play, but there was some kind of problem with Michigan State being able to stay over the weekend or that. I'm
Yeah,
not sure the particulars,
grades.
but we were forced to play. Well, at least we played one half, and then of course, uh, Guy Busch slid into one of the goalposts right before half, and so that at halftime they said, hey, they just declared us co-champions. The game should have never even been started actually, but Given the circumstances, I guess there wasn't any other way they could do it, but it certainly wasn't going to be a test of soccer in the slop that field was,
Right,
with the condition of the field.
right. And that was really something when, the guys you grow up with, you play college ball
Right.
with. And I mean,
I played with several, many of them from the team I played with, Kutis Juniors. Four or five of them on that team went to Michigan State. So yeah, we all knew each other quite well and had, I think, good respect for one another.
yeah,
Big rivalry, but still respect.
absolutely. So then you said, well, if you got the junior, you might as well turn the card in and stamp it with the senior with Kutis. And you were on.
Yeah. Well, at the time, Bob Gulker was our coach at St. Louis University for my sophomore and junior year, and he headed up the CYC program, and he preferred for all those players to play in the CYC Major League. So that's how many of us that went to St. Louis U played in the CYC Major League, and we did that. Myself and a lot of my teammates did that for a couple of years, and then when Bob Gulker left, going into my senior year to start at SIUE, many of us, or several of us, I should say, started playing for Kutis at that time. So that's how that all came about.
Wow. And was it in 77 or 71 that your brother Denny played with you?
Yeah, 71, Denny played, and I was on the team, and that's the year we won the U.S. Amateur Championship. So we had a good combination of older players, and then we had a lot of young players, like my brother Denny and Bob Madison, Denny Vaninger, a lot of good players, Jim Boker. We had a lot of good St. Louis U players.
And then you had the kid, Tim Logish.
Timmy Logish, yeah, Tim was on the team, and a great player as well. Yeah, we had a lot of good players. It was really a nice team.
Oh, yeah. And you guys had some nice red uniforms with the white socks. Simple, but it looked good, man. That
Yeah,
that Kutis logo.
yeah, that
So
was that was always a team as a kid that I used to watch and always kind of dreamed about and to be on one day. So I always thought it was, and I was quite proud to actually be on the team.
yeah, but that's a real deal. That's no kidding. When you were a young lad on that sideline, you just were eyes wide, huh?
Oh yeah, yeah. I used to watch them all the time. I mean, they had such great players. They won the amateur championship, I think, like 6 times in a row, and at the same time, I think they won the Open at least once or twice as well. So yeah, they were the standards.
There you go. Yeah. And so you reach up to that, and it becomes where basically you're the senior member on the squad. You keep playing.
Yeah,
How
I played with Kutis probably about 12 years. So I was about 32 years old, I think,
wow.
um, before I kind of retired. I, Before I retired from senior soccer. Yeah. So I played the whole time, basically, except for those first 2 years with St. Anthony. So yeah,
Man, I
yeah.
can remember when the over 30 league first started, and I was thinking, Jesus, you're an old man. You can't play.
Well,
Oh my God.
where I'm at today, 32 is looking pretty good, I tell you. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
but the senior soccer was quite strong in those days, and
Yes, it was.
uh, there were good games every week, and in the papers, newspapers that actually were in print then. There was a lot. There was like Dent McSkimming and that Charlie Gould. There were a lot of articles written every week about soccer, at least one whole page dedicated to soccer.
Yeah, yeah,
Back in the day, and now it's kind of disintegrated into really nothing.
yeah. I learned how to read by reading the newspaper.
Well, that's quite an accomplishment for you.
Boom, boom. So there you go. You have all that. And can you give us an insight? Some of us don't know. What is it like to play on a national championship with your brother?
Well, just to play in the championship was great, but to have your brother on the team, it's just something special. I mean, it's hard to describe. It doesn't happen that often.
No.
That two brothers are close enough, and they're still playing and at the same quality. So yeah, it was a real privilege to do that, and something that I've always look back and have a smile on my face when I talk about it. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, really good.
Yeah, when people talk about St. Louis soccer, they can't skip over the Werners.
Well, I appreciate that. Denny had a successful career. My youngest brother Tim had a really nice career up at Quincy, and yeah, we had a lot of success with soccer in our family, which we were fortunate at. So we all share that and still share that kind of bond regarding soccer.
Yeah. So there you go. It's it's coming to that time where they say, "Hey, Denny, hey, Wally, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here." So does that coaching took a natural way with you?
Yeah, I started out like a lot of people. I started out with my oldest son, and we have two boys, and so I started coaching him, and typically, like a lot of people do in CYC, and then I also coached my second son, Brian, and I did them both. And the first one with Kevin, we did CYC for until about sixth grade, and then we got into the select soccer with the Busch Soccer Club, and that was a great organization that gave me a lot of opportunities from a coaching standpoint to get some United States soccer licenses by them helping pay for that, and so yeah, we got into that, and I just really enjoyed coaching, and I enjoyed the licensing in because it gave, even though I was a longtime player, it gave me a different perspective on learning how to actually break soccer down and teach it, which is two different things, and just being a player and teaching. So I really enjoyed the interaction with the boys and not only the soccer aspect, but just part of them growing up and trying to be a kind of an example to them as the kind of person you should be. So yeah, I did that for a long time. In fact, I just retired from coaching about a year ago. So I think I was in coaching for like 48 years.
Wow, dude. Wow, Wally, who you started out with Busch, and then what? Where'd you go?
Well, I stayed with Busch with both my sons, and my oldest son, Kevin. We actually won the under 16 national championship in what I think like 89, I think, if I remember right. So that was a big accomplishment, and I'm still in touch with a lot of those players all these years. And of course, they're in their 50s now,
Yeah.
and so that's a special feeling. Still have a connection with kids you coached when they were like 16 and 15. So
Yeah.
and then I coached for different people would call me up basically and say, hey, you want to help out. Well, I when I started doing that after I got my sons through, I just did training. I didn't get involved with the managerial duties as well, dealing with parents and all the administration stuff, which is quite a bit these days. So I just did training, and I did it with several clubs: Scott Gallagher, Lou Hughes, just different clubs along the way. Whoever might ask me to help, and I enjoyed doing that. Then toward the end, for about the last 10 years or so, I coached with my oldest son, my granddaughter's team. He was the manager, and I just assisted him. And so I did that. I did that like 8, 10 years. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun too because got to reconnect. I was coaching my son. Now I was helping him coach my granddaughter. So that was kind of,
Wow.
full circle.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, what age groups are you feel Wally Werner is the coach for or trainer?
Um, if I had my preference, I would like to start with them early and stay with them. Um, because I guess my own opinion is I found out if you teach kids good training skills and habits, they can build on that. I have found personally that when you get kids older that maybe haven't had the same background, even though they're good athletes and they're pretty good players, they lack a few things. So that would be my preference to start early with the kids, like I did really with both my sons early, and stay with those players. And yeah, we picked up players along the way and made changes, obviously. But I have just found that consistency is good, and then you can kind of build from there. And that's my own formula, I guess, my own preference.
And Wally, that's why you're in the Wales Certified Hall of Fame. And yeah, and I have put in the whole Werner family and generations into the Hall of Affinity.
All right, all right.
Yeah, because that
Well, go ahead.
because that's what it is. That answer you gave to that question. Barcelona teaches the same soccer to 8 year olds than they do the first team. I mean, there's just a way you expect different, and and the standards are different, but you teach it the same way. It, it's the game of soccer, simple, man.
Right. It is simple. That's the truth, and I think a lot of people like to make it more complicated than it is, but it is a simple game.
Yeah, and there's something about soccer. Because I don't know my experience, knowledge of other sports, but you take soccer, man. You take it off the field in your personal life, professional life, whatever life. Soccer is life.
Well, I somewhat believe that. I mean, it's there's a lot of challenges in soccer, a lot of thinking going on, a lot of strategy besides the skills. So it runs the full gamut of emotions and everything. So yeah, I think there's a lot of similarities to it. I would agree with you there.
Yeah, and and you hit on it that you were able to experience it for what over 30 plus 40 years. Those players, they knew you as a teenager and they never forgotten you.
Well, yeah, it's a good feeling. Like I said, you find out it's soccer was the vehicle, but the relationships you build when it's all said and done. I think most coaches will say that it's always about the relationships that you build, uh, and that's the most important things.
Yeah, we have a soccer friend, I guess, John Schneider. He's
John, yeah,
yeah,
I know John.
yeah. He says it's not about the X's and O's; it's about the Larrys and the Joes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, John knows he's been around. He's coached a long time himself, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
good. That's a good saying.
yeah. So, you got 10 more minutes?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, great. So now this this meatball is no longer a meatball; it's a meatloaf. I mean, you got a big pan there, man. Yeah, and the story goes is that where you came from, where you watched, you seen those. 1950 World Cup players play. And
Right.
yeah, and you talked to them and you knew them, and you're part of the gang if you played for Kutis and SLU. So there you are, you're there, and now comes 2026, the World Cup in America. It says, sorry, St. Louis, not this year. And every other place they go. And so all that is, and then coming down to the simple play of it. It's my opinion we wouldn't have qualified for the World Cup had we not had the home, uh, you know, the pass. So
We
basically,
need, go ahead.
yeah, because if you're the home team, you get in.
Right, right.
Okay, so all with that, and I love being Mr. Positive, but I mean, they're not playing a simple style, nor is the Federation playing a simple style of development and about pride and regional pride at that too. So
Yeah.
after saying what I said, are you somewhat agreeing with it, or you say no? I got a different outlook on it, or what's your viewpoints on it?
On the quality of the team you're talking about, of the U.S. team.
Yeah,
Oh,
for
okay.
anything
Well.
from A to Z.
Oh, okay. I my own opinion is we have a lot of very good players, uh, but again, in my opinion, the World Cup needs not good players; they need really special players. I don't think we have a lot of. We haven't still developed special players. We've gotten a lot better over the years, I think, but we have Pulisic, and there's some other guys, but we need a higher quality and more of them. Uh, in my opinion. We have a lot of players that again are good, and they've gotten much better than the past, but we don't have the special players like most of these high quality teams like France and Spain, Germany, all the traditional powers have. We haven't caught up, in my opinion, with that level yet.
Yeah,
And
we both state this is our personal opinion, but
right,
I along with just the friendly way of the podcast Whale Certified. That Whale Certified means something. You just don't get it, and America, uh, our beloved America, our team, they're not worldlies. They're I mean to play for the. I remember. I mean, I looked at Pat McBride and Al Crow saying, "Hey, they're not. These are my worldlies. These are my world class players right here, right now."
yeah, right,
And and
right,
and Gene Geimer and several I can't Denny Vanager and all those great players
yeah,
from DeBerg and SLU. These are worldly players that can play given the right circumstance and everything, and then this and that. And if you don't train as a team, you're not going to get results. You just can't call somebody in. Hey, come over this weekend and we're going to play it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's a problem. The United States is so large and there's so many people playing. On one hand, you would think it's a real benefit, which is a much larger pool. But on the other hand, again, it seems to be difficult to find that really special player out of all these people. And I know there's probably a bunch of people that are overlooked, no doubt. I don't know what the answer to that is, but it we just haven't produced it.
yeah.
special and several special players. And again, I'm sure people would argue about that, but I think our records is what it is, and I guess this upcoming World Cup, we'll see how we do. I think everybody thinks we should get out of the bracket, but we'll see if that happens or not.
Yeah.
I don't personally think it's a sure thing.
No, not at all. Not at all, man. Not at all. And you said an interesting thing, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it talk about the specialization of that position. That it seemed, back in the day, it was always you be strong up the middle, you know,
Yeah,
and
right.
and you looked at those teams, and they had quality. Some of the virtuosos, uh, using the word from Timmy McAvoy, who says virtuoso instead of be. Yeah. But
Yeah,
having those types of players, that it really meant something. And in simple numbers, I mean, it's very hard and very unique to have the top 11 all on one team, you know?
yeah, yeah. It's yeah,
I mean,
it is.
I've seen 5 or 6, but I haven't, yet. And the other is it's not a really a drop in quality, but it's less than.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it really you never missed it. And then the people coming off the bench. Well, if you get hurt, we got a star player waiting to get on.
yeah, yeah.
So all that that's what I wanted to add your opinion on what
Okay.
your viewpoint, because you said something earlier that really uh, means something, and it got you to Wales Certified Hall of Affinity, was that you said about you coach what you see with your eyes. You you coach
Yeah,
what you see, man. You're not reading the book. You know the book, but you see what you see, and you can't hide on the soccer field, man. There's no
yeah,
liars. Yeah, you either are a pretender or a contender.
yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So hats off to you. We whoever all those soccer people, man, they really taught us the simple genius of the game, and I'm forever grateful. I hope that kids coming up through grade school and so forth, that they feel the same way that we did when you were a young lad getting up. Where did you watch Kutis at? Down in Malawi or?
I watched Kutis primarily at Crownwood Park. I also, since I lived, Immaculate Heart of Mary was just on the other side of Crownwood Park.
Yeah.
So I used to watch them against the St. Ambrose with Charlie Columbus and all those guys.
Nice.
Some of those guys are on the World Cup team. And then when they got into the playoffs, Kutis, many a time I would take the Kings Highway bus all the way up to Public School Stadium where they played,
Wow.
and I'd go watch them when they were in the playoffs against other teams from other cities. I did that whenever I could, and not sure that's I'm not even sure that's feasible anymore. You let a kid that's 12 years old get on a bus and go from South St. Louis to North St. Louis by themselves. I think most parents these days, unfortunately, wouldn't allow that.
Yeah. I I
Probably for
grew up
good
in
reason.
I grew up in the late '60s, and I used to do that. And
Yeah,
you used to hitchhike to save the bus money.
yeah, yeah. I was at that age. I was when I did that. I was probably too young for hitchhiking, but I hitchhiked many a day in my life. Uh, and but I just really enjoyed watching Kudos. I just they were just always as a high standard in my mind,
Yeah.
as St. Louis University was.
And I never was in the locker room of the public school stadium. Were you by any chance?
Yes, I played several games there, not a lot, probably a half dozen. We played 1964. We played Kutis Juniors. We played our national championship game there against Philadelphia Lighthouse.
Holy cow.
So I played, when I was younger in the CYC, I played some preliminary games when I was a kid to like the CYC All-Star team, and they would play Liverpool or Manchester United or somebody.
Nice.
So we played, as a kid, played several. Yeah. Public school stadium was nothing real special, but it was, at the time, it was a big deal.
Yeah. That I never forgotten the feel, the whole ambiance of the locker room at Mullally Field, and the one at Cronolette. Yeah, up on top of the hill, man, going down to
Public school stadium was really no different, other than it was below ground than Cronolette's the locker room. Kind of, dark and damp and just not a real nice place. But at the time, nobody knew the difference.
Not at all.
And
not at all. And it was so cold, you just wanted to get inside somewhere. Okay, then. It's a custom here, Wally, at Will Certified to say, hey, Wally, whatever you want to say to who you ever want to say it to, for as long as you want to say it for.
Well, let's see. So I'd like to acknowledge several people for when I was first started playing soccer that I think were but they were very instrumental in getting myself and a bunch of other players that ended up being on St. Louis U and Michigan State many years later. But of course, my family were all there to support me, and my brothers. We used to play a lot of soccer in the backyard, so we did that. But Tony Kreff was my early soccer coach who got us organized, and he got people like at the time a guy named Fini Fernandez, who was from the Spanish Society, and he got Pete Sorber for many years to coach us. I think that's when Pete got into coaching. Actually, was with our team when we were in grade school. And then Bob Bokern had our Immaculate Heart Championship junior team, and Bob Gelker at SLU. And then, of course, Harry Keogh came out occasionally when we were in grade school. And, of course, he ended up being my coach senior year at SLU, and that was great. And then, of course, Frito Geyser at Kutis, I played for him for like 12 years. And, he was a great guy, too. So there are a lot of people along the way I was very lucky to experience. But I think it all started in grade school with Tony Kreff and getting, he was very organized. He was really a baseball guy, but he was very organized, and he got people that knew soccer. And I think that's why you saw so many Immaculate Heart of Mary boys do so well later on. And to me, it was all about that early coaching, and I really believe that.
Yeah. I mean, my God. The Men's Athletic Association's sports association. I mean, they were something, man.
Yeah. So anyway, appreciate it, Kevin.
Yeah, Wally. So what I'll do is upload it and send it to this number. Okay.
All right. Appreciate it. Good talking to you.
Yeah, and I hope Denny is not too jealous of his brother who got him in.
No, I think we all support each other. We won't be jealous. We'll be supportive.
All right. The best of the best. Bye.
All right. Bye.